Evening all, and welcome to the slightly late edition of the weekly CM0102 Super League show. Um, Good to see that so many people could join us already. Evening Dimple, evening Mr. Edwards, Oscar, Paul, Scott, a bunch of people here already, which is good news. Um, we have got an exciting evening, as usual, lined up as usual. But first of all, just a quick shout out to the All Stars who somehow already on on the just about reaching the final on season 5 or whatever. Give it another year and a half, and they'll probably be on more seasons than the Super League. But good stuff. So if you're not already following, then pop over and have a look and see if Bundaberg Blitz um, is going to do something spectacular and win the league. Who knows? Exciting stuff anyway. Those who are interested. Evening, evening to someone who's logged in on his son's YouTube account. Evening Tato as well. Welcome back from the swimming, or wherever you were. Happy to see so many of you here. Evening, Alf. Um, let's start by reminding ourselves of the results from last time out. Badgers beating the Vikings in that top of the table clash. Dudley with a huge 6-0 win over Sanctay after Oliver Kahn got sent off. Haggis with an impressive win there. First or second of the season, I think. Did well there. Evening Duggan. Fulchester, bad luck continues, losing at home to East Coast, who are in decent form at the moment, even without Constantino. We'll get back to that later. Northern Burn drew with Exiles. Good result, kind of. Exiles were top, I guess. Northern Burn, the normal circumstances would have hoped for more. They're down in the 11th, still looking for points. Stackington and Stanley both had goalless draws at homes to Los Santos and Sloth, respectively. Clean sheet, always good news, but all managers would probably rather have 3 points than a clean sheet. Anyway, it leaves the table looking like this, as we've probably already seen, as Badgers ahead of Exiles, Vikings, East Coast, etc., etc. Um, Still Dudley Hill with that amazing defense, conceding 5 and 9, quite unheard of for Super League standards. Although I'm sure that Mr. Campbell will tell you that he once had a similar season. Um, and I believe Foss Road Unicorns were challenging for that record. Um, the Matt Holland train. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Hag is still down at the bottom next to Sancte. Sloth down there as well. Those are the only the three teams still in single digits in terms of points collection, but not far off. Northern Burn, obviously Sancte a little bit worse position than everyone else. And now with that 6-0 defeat, morale's not going to be super high. Ross's new tactic, maybe not as effective as he'd hoped for potentially. There's a story there, but we'll pick that up another time. So that's the standings. The fixtures are as follows this evening. You can see them here. They have been published. Yes, you've managed to successfully log in on your own account. Well done, mate. Um, good stuff. Thought it was your burner phone, perhaps. Steve only scoring 17 goals is mental, considering, yeah, 5-0 and a 6-0 win, indeed. So yeah, that's a little bit that kind of evens out with his goals conceded, but still doing well. Dudley still in fifth, so not too bad. They face East Coast this evening, tough challenge for them. Um, we have as well got Exiles against Foss Road, Fulchester host Badgers, another home game for them. There's Haggis against Los Santos, Sancte with Sloths, Stanley Northern Burn, and Vikings against Staggington. So I guess first things first is to have a look around the chat and see if we can identify some successful pairings. Do feel free to help me if I've missed anyone, but I think we're only looking at singles at the moment. What we can do, or what I propose to do, is that we go first with Sancte against the Sloths, as Ross won't be joining us this evening, and I've seen Alf is already here, so I think that's probably as good a place as any to start. First up, we have the Sloth side. Just a couple of personnel changes for them. The tactic remains the same after that goalless draw. Vogel and Dacour swap places in the center of the park. Seedorf goes to the left. Ocken comes in on the right. It's Catania at AMC. Luisao drops to the bench. And Kesman starts up top. Evening, Mr. Right. Um, yeah, well, got to keep an eye on that, Steve. Or just go with the flow. So those are Sloth's personnel lining up this evening. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They had that goalless draw last time out. Sanctum not exactly in brilliant form, so maybe there's an opening here for Sloths. It could obviously go either way this one, but let's see. Let's see how Alf and the Sloths boys get on this evening. Meanwhile, Club Sancte Saluti's tactics are as follows. Slight change from last week, pushing the fullbacks up, pulling a couple of midfielders back, two AMCs. Obviously, big story here is that Ferguson starts as well as Patsazoglu, and yeah, big things expected from those boys from the manager. Things need to turn around quickly. You would suggest for Sancte as they sit on 5 points, despite their excellent finish to the season to the previous season wasn't enough to get them really into the playoffs. Close, but no cigar. We'll see how it goes this season, but I'm sure the manager will be very hopeful of picking up 3 points this evening. Glad Ross didn't play this last game. It does look a little bit more effective. You're right, Steve. But he has got new people in Ferguson and Pat Sissoko, so we will see how it goes. Anyway, they get number 15 and 44 respectively, and we are ready to kick this one off. Steve says 2-1 Sloths. We'll see. Oh, and the ultra single narrow line thing, yeah, that didn't go super well. Let's have a look and see if Sloths can do any better and get on the score sheet while still keeping a clean sheet. Sancte should be able to do better than their 6-0 defeat last time out, you would suspect. Although morale in the camp can't be super high, and it's taken another knock here as it's Ocken who opens the scoring. Not a regular for the Sloths, but Altus has brought him in. However, Crespo fires straight back for Sancte. It's a 1-1 going into, I was going to say going into halftime, but Crespo has hit another. Sancte take a 2-1 lead into halftime. Good comeback from them after a brilliant start from the Sloths. Sancte fired straight back. Both sides have had 3 shots on target. Sloths, unfortunately for them, only 1 on target. 3 shots. Sloths only 1 on target. Sancte all 3. Quickly looking at the performances here, there are instructions for Ross. I'll just quickly double check them. Meanwhile, we'll go to Sloths and we can see that Eleftheropoulos is on a 5 for his poor performance, letting 2 of those 3 shots go in. Apart from that, it's actually not looking terrible. There are a couple of 6s, but they are away from home. There's also 8s, Woodgate, Vogel, who also got the assist. There's, of course, Okan on the 7 with a goal. Kessman's on a 7, so's Maicon. It's not too bad for Sloths. It's just been a little bit sloppy from the goalkeeper there, unfortunately. You do need all things to click at the same time for things to work. Placenta Reed and Luisao are the options on the bench. We'll see if Al wants to do anything while I check the notes from the absent manager. He hasn't got anything until 60, so we will leave it at that. Former Dudley players, Al's best. You've had Vogel a couple of times, haven't you? Or Luisao for Catania swap with Kessman. We shall do that. And there we go. Evening, Alex. Let's see if that changes fortunes for Sloths. We have seen Luisao and Kessman combine effectively in the past, and we will see if that will be the case this evening as well. Fresco with a header. He looks looks intent on getting his third this evening. Um, but Eleftheropoulos perhaps doing a little bit better in the second half, and at least trying to prevent some of the Sancte shots from going in. There comes Okan again, getting involved, skipping past players, and Kessman is there with a header, and that is the equaliser for Sloss. Oh, it is not. The whistle has unfortunately gone. Luis Sa, who's come on, was caught offside. Looked as if Sloss has found the equaliser there, but it wasn't to be. We reached 60 minutes. Sloths, of course, had that shot. Won't count because it was off for offside. Sancta had another shot on target. Let's have a look at this Sloths lineup here. Okan is 88%. That's the lowest fitness. Everyone else is on sevens. There are a couple of sixes in there as well, though. As mentioned, Placenta and Stephen Reed, the two players on the bench who could come in. But I think in general, it's not looking too bad, actually. Mr. Deacon Sanford, welcome, welcome. While Alf ponders this, I'll have a quick look at the Sancte side and see the Cisse comes on for Santa Cruz. And if Riquelme is doing rubbish, he's not, so he stays on. So that is the only change from Sancte. We will see if Sloths want to make any changes. We are indeed all well. Most of us anyway. A read for Sadov, and that is it. Excellent. Let's see. Sadov is on a 6. Let's see if Stephen Reed, sort of a bit of a multi-tool here. Has done okay. He came on for a 7. He's not really been used a lot, which is kind of surprising considering that he's a relatively decent player and so super versatile. You would have thought he'd had at least a handful of sub appearances or something, but wasn't to be. Last 30 minutes coming up. Sloths desperately looking for an equaliser. Thought they'd found one, but it has been ruled out for offside. Um, it was Kessman who had the ball in the back of the net, and there is Luis Sao picking up an injury. Um, I mean, I guess Stephen Reed, Stephen Reed up top and Placenta on that left hand side could be an option, or Kessman up top, Stephen Reed behind him, and again Placenta into to that kind of to that spot here. We'll see what Alf wants to do. Unlucky to get the injury there. Of course, it's going to be Placenta for Luisao. There is no other choice, so I'll make the substitution. It's just where Placenta goes. We'll wait and see what the manager decides. Does seem as if luck kind of comes and goes. And when you're lucky, what is it? It never rains, but it pours. You know, get a good start, then the opponent gets 2 goals, then you get a goal disallowed for offside, then you swap on a striker and he gets injured, and you only have a left back left on the on the bench. So yeah, you can quickly run out of options here, unfortunately. We will see though. Not all is lost for Sloth. They still have 11 players on the pitch. It's just a question of read behind. So like this, I guess, read behind Kessman and Placenta on. He can do stuff going forward, I'm sure. 17 positioning, that's good. Good decisions, dribbling, finishing. Bit of a utility player as well himself there, Placente. So I think this will probably be fine. Excellent. Thank you for the confirmation, Alf. We have the last 9 minutes coming up. We will see if the sort of makeshift Sloths attack can find the back of the net here, or if they will continue to struggle against Sancte. There's Cisse. Not sure if he's quite ready for first team action, but the manager has decided that that is time to see him in action. Corner kick now for Sancte. Valgarin hits the ball upfield for Sloths, but it doesn't seem to be finding anyone. Paxel Soklu with a decent defensive display. Left the Rapulas down with a good save. And it seems to fizzle out the last couple of minutes there. And it's Sancte who runs out 2-1 winners against Sloths. Unlucky to have that goal ruled out for offside and a couple of injuries, or at least one injury as well. Okan, the sort of shining light of the evening, a 9 for him. Good performance. Vogel got the assist. Um, not perfect, obviously, and never nice to lose a game, but good news for Sancte. They pick up 3 points, and they pick up a ton of brilliant average ratings. Evening Mike, Ashley Cole with the assist, Barry Ferguson with the assist, and it's 8 and 9s across the board. Just Riquelme, the substituted Santa Cruz, and the incoming Gibril Cisse who got 7s. Ross will be delighted with this outcome and with the performance, especially. High hopes for the future, probably in the Sancte camp. Excellent. As we now have a few more people in the chat, there should be plenty of options here. As always, if anyone wants to go later or early, you are more than welcome to make yourselves known to the public. Otherwise, I will just choose. Um, Woo badgers, boo no badgers. Wow. Um, let's see. Steve was here and Alex was here. So why don't we do Vikings against Stackington? Top of the table clash here. Um, let's go with that. Let's go with the Vikings against Stackington. Vikings are unchanged because Shevchenko is still out injured. They had a poor result last time out against Badgers, but it's a difficult place to go. Of course, losing 2-0 away from home, not the not exactly a sin, and they had been on a decent run. Evening, Mr. Campbell. They had been on a decent run before that, and yeah, looking good for Vikings. Medved was a good signing for sure. He's not done particularly well after he's not been playing with Shevchenko, but he did well before. And yeah, I think the managers consider them to be very unlucky and therefore has gone unchanged. So Vikings are unchanged from that Badgers game. Stackington, meanwhile, they're definitely not unchanged. Might be arrows missing on these two guys. I forget. I'll double check that. Um, Indeed, they should have arrows. Let's have a quick look then at Stackington. The changes are plenty. There are plenty of them. Viali's come in. Rivaldo's moved back to the left side of midfield. So there's Oliveira and Etu behind Anelka, the lone striker for Stackington this evening. Mark Kerr, Jermaine Defoe, and Binotto are on the bench. So Stackington are in sixth position. Let's see if they can consolidate that spot in the top six or if Vikings will be too strong for them. We kick this one off. Vikings hosting Stackington. Samuel Eto'o thrown himself about in the first couple of minutes there for Stackington. Saw his name up there a couple of times. Um, it's Vikings getting back into it, but it's been difficult to tell if there's been any real amazing chances for either side. Looked a little bit sort of like scattered in terms of chances, but it's Rivaldo back on his favorite left wing with the arrow, where Alex had so much success with him previously, and where he is proving his worth once again. One shot for the Vikings, 5-4 for Stackington. Brilliant, rejuvenated side, as Mr. Campbell says here. Stackington, completely unrecognizable from previous season, and Vikings are well, maybe not tonight, but in general they have been very good, been very good. Nine offsides. Indeed. We'll have a look at the culprits in a second. Um, Looks okay for Stackington. Not played particularly well, but not played too badly either. No fitness concerns, so I'm guessing the manager's not going to do a whole lot, but we'll see. Meanwhile, let's see who is the offside runners. It is Volodenkov and it's Hersey and to some extent Salas. Not quite the Ben May with his many offsides run as we saw from Savage at Red Rose last week, but yeah, those are your culprits. 7 and 6s for Vikings. Alex has confirmed as is for the visitors. Sorocinski, Doni, and Estebaria are the options on the bench for the Vikings, of course. Brett Emerson and Mark Van Bommel sitting on yellow cards already. Probably not something that's going to cause a huge amount of concerns. It's not been a particularly violent game so far, but maybe something to consider on 60 perhaps if if uh, if it continues like this. But we'll see if Steve wants to do anything at this particular point in time or if he is happy to roll. Uh, Emerton to DM. Aha, we're doing this thing. Yeah, you did, Mike, but we can change it. It's fine. He needs a striker. He's got Shevchenko, who scored 6 goals. He's just injured. So I guess this is okay. Centralized Liberani. Looks okay. Um, Trying the old trick of overloading the wing. Um, Asymmetrical. We're going asymmetrical. That'll do until 60. Excellent. Um, let's see. Let's see if overloading that deciding the defense will work. There was Volodenkov trying to find Salas. So initially, it seems to have at least creating a chance um, out of it. Hershey and Nedved coming forward. There's Van Bommel, Volodenkov involved again. I mean, the asymmetrical has proven effective on occasion in the past, so why not? We reached 60 though, and nothing else really happened, but it did result in one chance at least. Nothing doing for Stackington, and they stay on 5-4 as they were at halftime. No fitness concerns, and in terms of average ratings, and we've got Jakubus on a 6, so's Anelka, so's Etu, Defoe, probably the most sort sort of obvious player to bring on. We'll see how it works. Alex will decide, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Vikings sevens and sixes and 1-8 for Brett Emerton. Key pass, I think, for Volodenko. Indeed, yeah, it has worked. It has worked to some extent already. We'll see if the manager wants to do anything. He's got, of course, Christian Doni, who could maybe play even better in that AMC role or AML role. Sorochinski is there as well as good backup, and Estebaria as well. So plenty of attacking options for the Vikings to play with here. Meanwhile, we're just going to go in and swap the foe for Anelka. Um, Putting Nesbit up front, I think that's pushing it a bit. Estebaria for Hersey, or Hersey's on a 6. That's not been brilliant. We will try that. We shall try that. And unless there's any other changes, we'll think of one further forward. That is brave. That is brave. And Mr. Edwards, OCD in full flow. Can't have can't have fullbacks with different length surnames. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Why not? I mean, I get it. I fully agree that if I'm not having a go. I'm just full credit to you for owning up to it. Let's see if Vikings can do something in the last half hour with that slight change of tactic. That was the wrong button. Apologies. We'll go straight back to the game. I just wanted to slow it down a little bit as there's only a couple of seconds left here. Doesn't look to have worked so far, but who knows? Last couple of minutes could still happen. I mean, they are trying, the Vikings, but it looks as if that one hit from Rivaldo early on, that was enough to seal the deal. Stackington completely closed down the opposition in the end of that match. Shay Given, unsurprisingly, finishes as man of the match, continuing his 8 rating. That's his fourth man of the match of the season. Stackington definitely consolidating their top spot here. Poor performance from the attacking players. Overall, not brilliant. Too many forward runs maybe for for the Vikings, but a brilliant result for Stackington here. Let's have a look at the offsides. Volodenkov with 7 offsides. Salah's not covering himself in glory with 6. That's that's not that's not brilliant. But yeah, well played to Stackington, and commiserations to the Vikings. Right, as we have had no sort of like people desperate to go early. We'll just continue with whatever the game throws at us. As if there's 2 managers, I think Scott was here earlier for sure, and I see that Mr. Campbell is being very active, so we shall do that. First up, Haggis. A couple of changes for them, I think. Um, or one, was it? I forget. It's Cruz for sure is coming in. That's probably and the goalkeeper, of course. Iker Casillas comes in for Haggis, and it's Cruz who comes in for uh, uh, someone, Prutton, and he gets an arrow, and yeah, all good for Haggis. Um, Good result for them last time out. They've got a home game now, Los Santos. That's going to be tricky. Then they've got some away games and other stuff. It's not getting particularly easy for them, but they're up to 13th. Well, they didn't go to 14th, so I guess that's good. And they're hoping for 3 points against Los Santos. Los Santos continue to be tweaked by Scott. Of course, he's brought in Saviola, who starts, and Nikiforenko gets an arrow. That was another chance. Um, Arrow on both DMs. My screen is cracked. No, just on the other fella. That's what you put in your picture. So that's what you got. Just on Cruz, nothing on Petkov. Um, as I was saying, new signing, Saviola, and of course, where is he? John Welsh, the captain. Mm, hoping for more for him, I'm sure. But Pamela Ka, who came from Haggis 825, we'll see what he can do this evening. Petco ever as well. You should have put it in your instructions then. Party. There you go. Let's kick this one off. Haggis hosting Los Santos. Carlos Shacks against his old manager. There's a big story there. If he scores, of course. Otherwise, it's it's not going to be worth mentioning. But yeah, Pamorka could have a good game. Carlos Shacks could have a good game. It could all end up 0-0. Let's see. Andres had a couple of good saves. Ooh, Jeremy's already on a yellow for kicking away the ball, I think. Um, Beckham had a couple of good set piece opportunities there, maybe one or two. Unfortunately for both managers, they've been pretty ineffective in front of goal. 0 for Los Santos, 1 for Haggis in terms of shots on target. Um, Los Santos Petit is doing relatively well. Hencho's down on a 5. Everyone's actually playing solid sevens across the board at halftime in an away game. That's definitely not bad, but the manager would probably have hoped for a few more chances. He has got Danny and Luca Toni and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst on the bench to bring on if it's necessary, of course. But we'll see if Scott wants to do anything. Scott was here. I didn't make that up, did I? Pretty sure he mm, announced himself in the chat earlier. However, Scott's role. Great, thanks very much. Haggis, meanwhile, they seem to have had the more chances, and they certainly have, but it's sixes everywhere for Carlos Jacques, for Tomadera. Swap the strikers, please. That's a Haggis specialty, isn't it? Not often you see other managers doing. Oh, that's wrong. Not often that you see other managers doing that, but we will try, and that will be us until 60. Nikiforenko coming forward with that arrow. Dede, I believe, had a decent start to the season as well. A bit of an average rating merchant, Dede, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Although, if you are looking for goals, then you'd like an assist from someone like Dede or Welsh or whoever can do something here for Los Santos. But it stays goalless. We're on 60 minutes. Los Santos Henshaw's a little bit better than he was. He still hasn't won any tackles, which is perhaps disappointing for for a central defender. But yeah, um, could do better. Everyone else sort of doing okay, chipping in, but just not really getting dangerous, unfortunately, for the visitors. Home side is still 7 and 6s, nothing new. Jeremy's is on a yellow. Filippo Inzaghi, Longberg, and Figo are on the bench. Ian getting nervous, perhaps. Those are the options. Can you look at my tactics, please? I can indeed, Scott. There we go. While Campbell considers his options. Or your actual tactics, or just the tactics screen. You could bring on Figo Campbell, alone up top as a lone striker. It's going to work out well for you. Or put Carlos Jacques up top where he actually scores goals. That could also be an option. Right, let's go. Welsh and Carr to central midfield. Danny for Welsh. Swap with Nikiforenko. Dish the arrow on Nikiforenko. Looking solid. Little options, the position was changed, plenty attacking. Let's have a look. Well, would you like to do something? Dish arrow, diagonal arrow. What? So like this. Yeah, my bad. I misread that. And back to Haggis, where the manager is still considering his options. Jeremy's casually hanging out on a yellow. Eagle, he can stay on. Nothing's gonna happen. Don't worry. I put Figo there with a long arrow. We've seen it. We've seen it before. Perhaps not working, but we've seen it. Filippo Inzaghi, story of the. It was Nolan Byrne who had him scoring goals. He was okay at Sancte as well. Let's see. Managers comes with some instructions here. Pippo Inzaghi for Tomadera, Figo for Simao, and Freddie Ljungberg for Wilfred Baumer. Shaq up top in a three. Good stuff. Good stuff. Last half hour coming up. Let's see if those changes make a difference for any of the managers. It's Saviola who scores on his debut for Los Santos. Immediate result, and there was a two-footed tackle, and Jeremies was involved, but maybe it was on him. Kalashak's finally up on top, scores against his old manager, and there is Shags again. He is doing the double. I told you to put him up there. Glad you listened. Could this be 3 points secured for Haggis? And their run towards the top six initiated. And there is Figo, but the goal won't stand. Los Santos being overrun by their old, their old superstar Carlos Jacques, who was obviously very disappointed at being left out in the cold after having scored in sort of half of his games. Poor start, of course, for Los Santos there, but yeah, he's back with a vengeance, and he has put Haggis on the map with a 2-1 victory, a brace for Carlos Jacques as they beat Los Santos 2-1 at home, 4 out of 12 shots on target, not brilliant. Stefan Henshaw, completely unreliable apparently this evening. Yeah, it, one tackle. I'm not sure what was happening with him there. Everyone else has done brilliantly. It's just this guy letting everyone down. But yeah, bad luck. Haggis, meanwhile, Petkov gets man of the match for some reason. Ljungberg and Figo both with assists. I don't know if that was inspired or lucky, but but well done to Haggis anyway. Maybe that'll move them up the table a little bit. Big 3 points for them. Stanley and Northern Burn coming up next. We have got both managers in the studio, in the comments, of course. Northern Burn, a couple of chances here, a couple of changes here. Scally comes in next to Vieira. Verong moves up next to Mackay at AMC. Manager clearly not happy with what his previous AMC partnership was delivering, and yeah, Scally comes into to that midfield, which allows Verong to move forward. Cantala Contra, Cannavaro, Campbell, Ndiaye, and Penta, Buffon. The rest are familiar faces, and Northern Burn. I think Cherno Samba on the bench might be a new one. He has played a game and scored a goal before, but I think he might be a change if I'm not much mistaken. And Penta on 6 and 8, looking to reclaim that golden boot from last season. They are up against Stanley this evening. We will. I'll reduce this one just out of kindness because I think Mike forgot. Um, and yeah, personnel changes here. I think it was Ehir comes into the bench for Johnson, Butt goes out, Walker comes in, Georges is on for Semak, and Del Piero is on for Keely Gonzalez. Ronaldo also on 6 goals, just like Impensa, still playing there. Guillermo, who joined and has done okay, still a big name for Mike, and we'll see how it goes. Ben May, who did manage to get a 7 in the last game. Let's see how he goes now that he starts the game by not running offside the whole bloody time. But that's how Red Rose line up as they take on Northern Burn in their lovely away kit, which I feel like I'm saying every time I see the Northern Burn away kit. Good luck to both managers. Red Rose Stanley against Northern Burn. It looks as if Northern Burn have been pretty much in control of this one the first 5-6 minutes. Plenty of grayish and or sort of slightly violet and yellow text flashing up, but now it's Stanley coming back at them. Um, Guillaume, I've seen his name a couple of times popping up, a couple of shots from him for sure. Um, and uh, and it is Guillermo who opens the scoring. As mentioned, his name had popped up a couple of times earlier in the game already, and he is the one who finds the back of the net first, breaks a deadlock on 33 minutes, puts Stanley 1-0 up. Excellent performance from the home side there. 2-2, Northern Burn 4-3. They have had the better of the first half, but it is Stanley who lead. Cosmin Contra and Candela, the wingers. I don't know if it's because there's no one out there, but they are struggling. Busy first half. Candela and Contra both on a six, not great for them. Emil Impensa not really getting the service. He's on a six as well. Just a couple of key passes there from NDI and Vieri. Veron is in the right position. He is making the right key passes. It's just not turning into goals for Northern Burn at this particular time. Meanwhile, Stanley, the assist was for Georgic, a favorite of mine. Of course, Parade is on a nine. He's having an okay season, I thought. Apparently not. But anyway, Ben May is on a nine. Who would have thought it? He got number one as well. Really? Ben May is on a nine. He had a shot as well. Excellent performance from him. Inspired purchase by the manager, it would appear. Um, We'll see if Mike wants to do anything. He's got Moldovan, Sviatkovsky, and Ehiok on the bench. Has to be as is. Indeed, it did. It does. And as is how we will go until 60. Let's see if Veron can continue to spread those passes around and see if someone can come at the end of it and actually find the back of the net. That was Candela with the header, probably not the player you want the big chance to fall to, but there we go. 60 minutes coming up. That was all that you got in the first 15. Northern Burn, one header from Candela. And it's still him and Contra on sixes. Everyone else on sevens and eights doing okay. Aymar, Samba, of course, options on the bench. Phil Neville defensively, if that's any interest. For Stanley, Ben Mays dropped to an 8. Apart from that, nothing has changed. Both managers still have some decisions to make. Justin Walker's on a 6 on a yellow. There seems to be sort of a fairly obvious substitution in Sviatkovsky. I say that, but he's not looking that great, to be honest. Del Piero could perhaps move back. Moldovan could come on. Or I could just keep him on, I guess. Or put Ben May in there, maybe. We'll see what Mike wants to do. Ian says as this, trusting the process, trusting the players at his disposal. We'll see if Mike wants to do the same walk of a sweaty. That's what we will do. Yaroslav Sviatkovsky coming in for, is it his debut? No, he has already featured as a sub. Excellent. Speed up and last half hour. Stanley looking to hold on to the lead. That was a dangerous two-footed challenge, but no red card associated with it. Stanley have had one or two chances here in the second half, but it's still mainly Northern Burn, and there is Mpensa. Was maybe just a matter of time given the pressure that Northern Burn had put Stanley under, that Mpensa found that equalizer. Let's see if they can hold on. Northern Burn, usually their problem has been holding on, I guess. Oh, and it is Mpensa again. Northern Burn leading 2-1 now. Took them about 75 minutes for the new AMC lineup to really click with the striker, but it has worked out for them. We'll see who got those assists. Impensa continues to threaten, and there is Veron, and that was on a pass from Impensa. Good link-up play from the two players there, two big stars for Northern Burn, and that is how it finishes. Commiserations to Stanley, and congratulations for Northern Burn, a hard-fought match there, and a fully deserved victory, I guess, based on the amount of shots they've had, both on and off target. Northern Burn stats, if we look at them, it was Candela and it was Ndiaye with the assists. Wrong only with one key pass in the second half, but still a solid enough performance. Unsurprisingly, man of the match is going to be Emil Impensa. He picks up a 9 with those 2 goals. Cannavaro, the captain, also on a 9. A good display from him. Over at Stanley, Paredes is on a 9. Leon Pure's on a 6. Georgic on a 6. Maybe just missing one or two guys in there just to put a little bit of more of steel into that Stanley side. But I think it was out, and Semek was out, maybe costing them this evening. But a decent enough performance from most of the players that did play this evening. Decent performance from Northern Burn, finally converted into points, as the manager points out there. Commiserations to his opposite number. Classy as always. Let's see what we have got left. Actually, we do have Exiles. We've done this, this, and this. We have Colchester against Badgers, Exiles against Foss Road, and Dimple against Dudley. I think it's the only one with two. I think Steve is definitely here, and Dimple was here earlier as well. Maybe on mute. We will see. Um, we're gonna go with the ones where the managers are here, Tato. I'm sorry. Next one, and we'll do East Coast against Dudley Hill. Unchanged for East Coast. They're unlucky. Constantino picked up another injury, and yeah, so bad news for them all round. The story of East Coast is that they've turned it around kind of now. Um, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. They beat Haggis, they beat Fulchester. Dimble is here. They play Dudley at home, Slots at home, and then Burn at home. Um, Burn game, probably on paper the most difficult of the three. Um, Maybe Dudley, just the way that they've been playing and scoring huge amounts of goals occasionally. Sloth's obviously struggling a little bit at the moment, but East Coast with a real chance to make a push for a top two here. With that kind of number of games they have. I won't congratulate Jimple. I'm not the type on. Ah, ah. What do you mean? You've almost sometimes won. Not been that often. You did. You have got a win. Don't don't be so harsh. Don't be so harsh on yourself there. There was a win in the early days. I'm sure you needed that reminder. We have got Kalatze, who's out on the bench, and we've got Roberto Carlos coming in at DML. Even El Guerra is dropped completely from the bench. Tigalco starts, of course, brilliant game from him there with an assist and two goals, etc., etc. Let's see. It's Dudley Hill away to East Coast. That's a Super League classic as well, isn't it? Let's see what East Coast can do. You reckon bombing is on the cards? Well, we'll see. We'll see. You do have Tigalco, so oh well. Oh well. Is that familiar sinking feeling, I guess, when East Coast take the lead? Excellent defensive record though, Dudley Hill. Still only 6 goals conceded in 10. That's not bad. We reached halftime, and East Coast are perhaps, given the history of these two clubs, not on not surprisingly in front. 8 shots, 5 of them on target, 2-1 for Dudley. Hetman's on a 9, keeping his side in it. Ariel Ortega, manager persists with this fella. He has got 3 assists now, I guess. But he's on a 5. Delvecchio's on a 6. So Sigalco has not been terrible. It's just that East Coast has obviously been quite a bit better. Dimple's boys, meanwhile, sort of some scattered sixes, but mainly a very very solid performance there. Emerson is on a 6, so Sanetti still trying to. I don't know if he's trying to flog. Are you trying to flog Sanetti, Dimble? Or was that my imagination? He's just not done anything in terms of goal contributions, but playing relatively well. Benches are Da Silva, Reyes, and Torres. And for Dudley Hill, it's Calasis, Anoni, and Rossini, of course, in case you needed a reminder. Let's see if either of the manager wants to change anything up here at halftime. Um, Steve goes first. Rossini for Ortega. Two up top. Maxim left. Del Vecchio central with Arrow. Rossini for Ortega, two up top. Blah, 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 blah. All good. Yabstam will be the captain. And Dimble says as is until 60. So let's do that. And let's see. Dudley Hill. Come on, Dudley. At least a draw with a bit of luck. Ooh. Rosa had a great goal. Hetman has been a brilliant keeper. Brilliant keeper this season for Dudley. Big part of their low numbers of conceded goals, of course, but East Coast are not letting them off the hook here. plenty of attacking motions from the host here. Emerson with a great chance last his challenge got challenged by Ambrosini, who of course joined from East Coast. Dudley wanted a penalty. Will it be given? Linesman signals no penalty. Oh, oh, it's just not going Dudley's way when they play East Coast. 10-7 now, 2-1 still for Dudley. Senoni and Kalat are the two players on the bench who could potentially come on. Maybe not the game changes that the manager's really looking for. Not been great from from anyone really, apart from the goalkeeper and Lucio at the back. Solid performance from him as well. Dimple says as is. uh, Let's have a look here. Bartes is on a 7. There's 7s and 8s. Everyone's doing a solid job. Manager's not wanting to change anything. Dudley, anything from you, Steve, that you would like to change here? Steve says he will roll. Last 30 minutes coming up. Can East Coast continue to pile on the pressure, keep up that relentless pace that they've set so far in this game? Or will Dudley Hill start to sneak back into this and potentially find an equaliser? East Coast turn to have a penalty claim turned down. Uh, Roberto Carlos and Tigalco combining there. Rossini seen his name popping up. There is a little bit more Dudley Hill now, but I'm not sure if they've been particularly dangerous, those chances that they've had. And it's still East Coast will slow it down a little bit. Hetman again with another save. If Dudley Hill gets anything out of this one, it will be all down to the keeper. Here comes Simeone. There's Tigalco and Caffo, but Rustico gets it. Robin down the other end. Kovalchuk with a throw in and another good tackle there. Ambrosini now, and there's Tigalco. There's Rossini forward past Zanetti. Zanetti with a good challenge though. And Tigalco lines up a free kick. Bartes with a fingertip save. They get a corner, but there's no time to take it. Dudley Hill did manage to get back into it a little bit towards the end there, but East Coast held on. Hetman only on an 8. Kind of surprising considering he had such a brilliant performance keeping Dudley Hill in the game. But it's Harry Kuehl who runs away with the assist, with the man of the match award, assist by Say Elias. And probably the least surprising result of the evening is that East Coast managed to beat Dudley Hill as they have done on a number of occasions. Standard says the yeah, well, um, certainly looking at the historical results, it's not been easy. We'll do badges now because otherwise I feel like I'm taking the piss a little bit. Um, let's have a look. First of all, at Fulchester, there's a couple of changes for them enforced. It's Gattuso who is out. Michelini comes in for him. Robbie Keane indeed replaces Roy Keane in central midfield as he is suspended, and Pizarro for Hussein up front. Those are the changes for Fulchester as they look. It's not bad. Just ghost game coming up. Possibly. Let's see how it goes. Um, Badgers, meanwhile, did they have any changes? I think just the one change. I think Salihamidzic, who's new, comes in. Yeah, Holland stays on the pitch though. I mean, he's done brilliantly at that wing back as well. So, or I don't know, winger, midfielder. He's done brilliantly anyway. So, manager's not about to change him right now. Rayad's still on the bench as well. Um, so obviously happy with the contributions from Giggs and Holland. Giggs having a decent enough season here as well. We kick this one off as well. It's going to be Fulchester against Badgers. Fulchester still looking to refine that form they had early on this season, which seems to have escaped them. But let's see if they can do it this evening against the Badgers. Top of the table Badgers. Paul Scholes opens the scoring. It's a nightmare start for Fulchester, but it is also a nightmare start for Badgers. Okoronkwo, who's been very solid for them. 8 average in the 9 games he's played, comes off, and they're not blessed with a shit ton of attacking options on the bench, to be honest. But I guess Matty Holland or Ashley Lythe can sneak back in there, and then someone can take the wing. I'm guessing Holland, Lythe, and then Salihamidzic on the wing, maybe. We'll see what the manager wants to do. But that seems a likely option. Yeah, Lythe to centre back, centralise this guy, and Okoronkwo goes off for Salihamidzic. Salihamidzic, who was hoping to start, didn't start, but jumped straight in. We're on 15 minutes. Badgers lead 1-0. They have had Okoronkwo injured, and Paul Scholes was the player opening the scoring for them. looks as if they will maintain their spot at the top of the table. Badgers and it's goals with his second. Where though do those post goals come from? Um, I remember calling him out as having had a decent start to the season before the previous match. He hadn't at all, actually, but then he played a good game, and he's obviously doing well this evening as well. Um, Fulchester not with a single attempt on goal. Not sure anything has really changed since the start of the season for Fulchester, but it's just not clicking for them. Badgers have had two shots, both of them on target, both of them have had two shots on target, both of them have gone in. Okoronkwo picked up an assist before he got injured, and Terry Henry got the other assist for Paul Scholes on a 9. Manager, unsurprisingly, going as is. Seb Frey, who has been absolutely brilliant for Fulchester over the last sort of 2 seasons, 2.5 maybe. Um, yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what to say about Seth Ray. Astilian Petrov clearly struggling up against post goals in the attacking lineup for the Badgers. Um, yeah, Song Yong-kook and Varlamov and Hussein on the bench. Maybe not the game changers that are there the manager would be hoping for. Michelin coming in and getting an 8 is good news though, but he'll be hoping for more, a better performance in the second half from his side. But it's Badgers who looks to have opened the second half the brightest. Salihamidzic comes forward. There is Henri, and he scores, and it's 3-0 Badgers. Definitely on a roll at the moment, looking to really cement that spot at the top of the table. Complete turnaround from where they were after the opening match, after that 5-0 defeat. Coming up to 60 minutes now, and it doesn't look as if Fulchester are going to do anything at all in this second half. They've still not had a single shot on target. Very unusual to see Badgers 5-4. Is presume the manager is going to go as is. Although Brosek, maybe we'll see Brosek. Who knows? Or Rayad even. Um, seems to be taking along nicely. As is, let it run. Full test as well. Probably not much they could do at this particular moment in time. Anyway, down 3-0. Um, and with Badgers fully in control. Ooh, Thierry Henry thought he'd hit a second, but it's been ruled out for offside. 10 minutes to play now. And it's Michael Owen. It never looked like it was going to be anyone other than Badgers getting the fourth goal of that game. Um, However, Pizarro with a consolation for Fulchester. That's I'm not sure it's going to please the manager. It's definitely not going to please him that Badgers have had 4 shots, 5 shots on target, and 4 of them have gone in. And no surprise there, Seb Frey getting a 4, letting his side down. It does happen to even the best of us once or twice a season, I guess. Um, 2 assists for Terry Henry and a goal, picking up man of the match award. Scholes on a 10 as well. Michael Owen get a goal and an assist. Yeah, I mean, top of the table Badgers, difficult to beat at the moment. Fulchester um, ran into to a team that was just much better than them, especially on the night. Yeah, we'll see if Fulchester start to pick up some form soon, but we'll see. We will see. I guess it's the last game of the season. It's Exiles against Foss Road. Neither manager in attendance, so we'll dive straight into it. Back and Ronaldinho, the AMC partnership. Now that Ronaldinho's back from injury, and in my imagine that team with a proper goalkeeper, we're all in trouble. Which one? Everyone has a proper goalkeeper, don't they? Atletico Exiles, one change for them. Milito comes in for the suspended Nesta. And they will obviously need a new captain, but we will let the game decide who that will be. Raul, obviously. Counter speed's very fast. Exiles taking on Foss Road, and that is sad news here. We'll pop on Farias, and I think swap with Casano. It's probably what Neil would have wanted to do. Um, that's unfortunate for Vieri. He's just been injured as well, hasn't he? Indeed, he's had a twisted knee, he's had a damaged shoulder, and now he has a potential shin injury. terrible news for Exiles, as things were looking bright for them. Such a good start to the season, as they've had on many previous occasions. But and now with Vieri picking up an injury again, it's going to be tricky for them. Foss Road lost last time out to Haggis. Let's see if they can turn their form around here. They have had probably slightly better of the chances on average in the first half, but haven't found the back of the net. And Exiles looks to have been a little bit unlucky not finding the goal there. Foss Road having a chance. It's chances galore at both ends. That's maybe a little bit generous, but at least two shots for Exiles and two for Foss Road as well. Sevens and eights across the board. Proper uh, uh, properly nothing really to note here for the manager. I mean, everyone's doing okay. They just haven't scored. Costanzo's on a 9. Oh, Doug is here indeed. Huh. The brains behind the operation is here, as is for Foss Road. Indeed. Apologies, mate. Um, and yeah, Exiles go as is until 60. Tolto isn't coming back in. Ooh, and is back opening the scoring for Foss Road. His first ever goal for them. Um, Yeah, manager has high hopes of him. Set him up in a kind of standard formation next to Ronaldinho. With those two at AMC, you're bound to get goals from at least one of them, I guess. Charlie K is coming forward there for Exiles as we approach 60 minutes. There we are. Um, 3 and 2 for Exile, 6 and 4 for Foss Road. Just one chance apiece in the second half. Foss Road converting theirs. It's Arek back with two shots, one on target, one of them in the back of the net. Assists, nowhere to be seen. But probably not much to do here for the manager or for the assistant manager. Um, Exiles, yeah, I mean Christian Vieri going off is probably what is going to cost them. We'll see what they can do without him. Back to Foss Road. We'll see if Duggan wants to do anything. Oh, here we go. Saeed for Oyer. Ruud van Nistelrooy for Agahawa. Swap with Todd. Yes, Duggan. Yes, Totti up top. The things you love to see. Let's hope that works out. Um, let's hope that works out. 10 minutes left to play. We'll just slow down a little bit here just so we can enjoy Totti's flying header or whatever it is that we're going to be treated to here in the dying minutes of the second half. It's inevitable, I guess. There's Agahawa coming forward past Milito. Agahawa again trying to find Totti. Ooh, but it's Roberto, it's Farias, and it's Cassano. Will there be an equalizer for Exiles? There won't, apparently. And I think that is going to be it. Foss Road holds on. Exiles coming back very strongly here in the second half. 8 and 4. They end up with more shots in total, but only 4 on target. Say Roberto, man of the match, as he's been on several occasions this season. And his fourth there, 840 average for him. Brilliant performance overall. And I mean, you look at the average ratings, and yeah, you'd probably think that you'd won that game, to be honest. But they haven't. It's Foss Road who's won it. Nick Matulin gets a 9 as well. So does Steven Gerrard. Everyone else is doing sort of pretty solid. Nothing really that stands out and that we'll want to dwell on for too much longer, considering the time. Um, We'll have a look at the classified results. Is East Coast up to second now? Beware, everyone. East Coast are back. Dudley down to seventh with that defeat. Exiles are in third. Foss Road sneak into sixth with that win. Fulchester down to 10th now. Badgers remain in first. Haggis up to 12th after beating Los Santos, who dropped to 8th. Sancte are still in 14th despite beating Sloss. Sloss dropped below Haggis. Stanley in 11th, losing to Northern Burn. Northern Burn now up to 9th. Starting to move as well. Vikings, who were mm, higher early in the season. Now with two defeats in a row, Stackington up to fifth from sixth, and yeah, looking good for the Badgers. 3 points ahead of Exiles. Sorry, ahead of East Coast. Four ahead of Exiles. There's Vikings, Stackington, Foss Road, Dudley. But look at here below the line: 16, 15, 14, 13, 13, 12, 11, and down then 8 and 8 for Sloths and Sanctay, all to play for in the CM0102 Super League. Still only 10, 11 games into the season. Fixture wise, let's have a look at what we've got coming up. It's going to be Badgers at home to Dudley Hill, another tricky one for Dudley. East Coast, who are in second place, are hosting Sloths. Exiles at home as well to Los Santos. Tricky game for Los Santos as well. Fulchester continue their run of home games as they host Stackington. Northern Burn are back. At home as they host Foss Road, two teams who got a good victory this evening. Stanley are hosting Sanctay, and Vikings are hosting Haggis. Steve's next on the chopping block. Well, we will see. We will see. Um, Packs and stats and all this good stuff will be out tomorrow morning. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed your company. Hope you enjoyed it too. Enjoy the rest of your night. And see you all on Thursday, probably. Good night.